going on, guys? Orms Forum coming at you guys today with another video. And today we're going to be talking about some breaking news in Detroit. Detroit Lions have decided to give back the signing bonus back to Calvin Johnson, the wide receiver who retired 5 years ago, 6 years ago now, going on 6. This has been going on since he retired. But before I start this, guys, don't forget to hit the subscribe button on the bottom right. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Get all my videos, like and comment, and we can get back to you. Now, before I start this, let's just talk about Calvin for a little bit. This 6'5", 240-pound absolute animal who ran a 4.3, 4.4, 40, whatever he ran. He's in the 4.3s, I believe. It was a while ago. Played 9 years in Detroit, 731 catches, 11,619 yards, 15.9 yards per catch, 83 touchdowns, unguardable. Over 552 of those catches were for first downs out of 731. Unbelievable. First ballot Hall of Famer, drafted, like I said, 2007, second overall. Thank you, Oakland Raiders, by the way, and thank you, Jamarcus Russell. Guy that retired after the 2015 season, a 6-time Pro Bowler, multiple All-Pros, 2 playoff games, 17 catches, 296 yards for 2 touchdowns. So he showed up in the little playoff games that he did have. Single season receiving record holder with 1,194 yards, I believe, surpassing Jerry Rice. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think it was Rice. 7 1,000-yard seasons out of 9, and retired early because of health, concussions, bad hands, bad leg. Everything was going on bad for Calvin Johnson at the end of his career, but he was still producing at an extremely high level. The direction of the team, there's a lot of things he didn't like. He called it quits. Now, this was a guy that signed an extension in 2012, 8-year, I believe, extension. So he retired out of that. He was supposed to retire 2021. That's what his contract was going to, I guess. And he retired way earlier than expected. He retired much earlier than expected. So this is a guy that made over $110 million as a Detroit Lion and many perks to go with it. So he made a ton of money. He was asked to give back about $1 million of a $16 million signing bonus. CJ said he was never coming back until they returned that money, until they returned that $1 million. Now, we have gone through a regime and a half, or a regime of them not giving back his money. I guess you can say regime and a half, but because there's been guys in and out. But Quinn era disregarded it. Sheila Ford wasn't involved in that, so it was like the old man, the old lady. Pretty sure the old lady was involved during the Calvin retirement era. I don't think it was Mr. Ford. I don't think it was the man. I think it was the mother. Don't quote me on that 100%. I should have wrote that down. But never got his money back with them. Now this new regime made it a point when they got hired. One of the first things I remember them saying is that they're going to work, or Sheila Ford saying that they are going to work on giving back that money to Calvin Johnson. It was $1 million. $1 million that this ridiculous squabble was about. And yes, I say it was ridiculous because it absolutely was. I think on both sides, the Calvin side and the organization side. And before I say anything, I want everybody to know that I am obviously a Lions fan, but I am a Calvin Johnson fan. If you were to see my walls, you can't see much right here. There's no Calvin stuff, but I got Calvin stuff up and down this wall here. I think there's some Calvin stuff maybe over there. I got lots of nice stuff over here. One day I will show it to all you guys. But yeah, first and foremost, I am a Calvin Johnson fan. But this was a guy, Calvin Johnson, who never said a word for 9 years that he was here. He was basically a mute. He was a mute. Never talked, barely said boo to the media. Never really did it in a disrespectful sort of way, but it wasn't his gig. It wasn't his thing. He wasn't a talker. Even when he had like 300 and something yards against the Dallas Cowboys or something like that in that infamous Dallas Cowboys game where he had over 300 yards and they had the inside the locker room with that. They threw him the football and he's like, y'all think I'm going to say something? He didn't say nothing. He didn't say a word. He just gathered everybody up. Go Lions. He wasn't a talker. But when this man retired, he didn't shut up. It was like he was an open book. Over $1 million. And it's not just, I never had a beef with Calvin Johnson retiring. I was shocked. I was like, oh man, this sucks. Because he was literally our team, him and Stafford at the time, you know what I mean? Him, Stafford, with Sue that was there a couple before that, and we were starting to build a team. We thought we were anyways in the 2013-14 era. We were trying to, it looks like we were getting a little bit better. We made the playoffs 2011. We started maybe getting a bit better with defensive and side of the ball. Offense was looking good. Just needed a couple pieces. And Calvin retired. Now, I wasn't all like, oh, I hate Calvin Johnson. Because I don't. I love Calvin, man. I got jerseys, I got shirts, I got hat, I got everything. Calvin Johnson. But he up and retired. And hey, it happens. Health reasons were probably a big concern. The man couldn't get out of bed. Didn't like the direction of the team. Had enough. Lost the fire. It happens. Now, a lot of Lions fans love to bash him for this. Love to bash him. They're upset that he's getting the money back. Lions fans wanted more money to be taken from him. Then there's another group of Lions fans that said he put his life on the line for this team every week, and I get that too. I was all for that. I was on the fence when all this happened. The only thing I was ever upset about with Calvin Johnson was that, okay, he didn't say a word for 9 years. Then he talked after he retired. Bashed the organization, bashed the doctors, saying that they, did this, did that, they're not good. Bad organization that's run like a circus and blah blah this and that. Went on ESPN, did all kinds of did like a whole circuit of just talking bad about this organization. And it was over $1 million for a guy that made 114 plus whatever he made as a Detroit Lion million, and then all the perks. He just ripped into this organization, and it put another black guy that we already have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of black guys on this football team. It just added another one. It just added another black guy. And that was my problem with Calvin. The guy never said a word for 9 years. So, and then he decided to run his mouth afterwards. I thought it was the strangest thing. It was even to a point where I was like, you know what? Screw this guy. I don't really care what happens to him. I don't really care what happens to him with the money. I didn't wish no ill will on him, but I was like, I hope they don't give him the money back. Like, the guy's crying over $1 million. And then at the same time, I was upset with the organization. I thought they should have just gave him all the $16 million. Why take $1 million? Why be that way? You know what I mean? Part ways in a good way. Sorry we couldn't get you a ring here, Calvin. Sorry we didn't do it for like this. We're gonna take away that $1 million of that $16 million that we gave you, though. I thought that was petty in itself. And then Calvin I feel was even more petty and just went on this whole bashing of the organization over $1 million. Said he'd never come back. But this new regime made it a point that they were going to try to get this guy back in the building. And I think that's great. He's getting the money back. Like, good for the organization. I'm glad, but I'm glad this story is over. I think it's a story. I really do. I think it's a story, and it's not one of those stories where I'm thinking, oh, he's crying about he's already rich. I don't really care that he's already rich. It's not even about that. I was mad that he was a mute for 9 years, a mute, and then all of a sudden he decided to he couldn't stop singing after he retired, and it just wasn't his style. Now he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and there were people even in this Detroit media on sports radio that were like questioning whether this man was even a Hall of Famer. And I'm not even lying. I'm not even making that up. There was guys saying, oh, I definitely don't think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I think it was Caputo. I think it was Pat Caputo. This was a while ago, though. This was a while ago, guys. This is I think, while he was just, he made the Hall of Fame last year, 2020. It was around 2018, 2019. I remember they were talking because he was just coming up on his Hall of Fame and possible Hall of Fame induction, and the talk was, is Calvin worth it? And I'm almost 100% sure Pat Caputo was like, I don't even think this guy's even Hall of Fame worthy, which is the most asinine thing ever, but it's the most Pat Caputo thing ever. I would expect someone like Mike Valente to say that, but it was Caputo because he's just as ridiculous. So it doesn't really. And then he just became first ballot Hall of Famer. I thought he was going in the first ballot Hall of Fame. I really did. There was times where I was on the fence going, maybe not, maybe so, but I had a feeling he was going to go in. This man was an absolute monster for the 9 seasons he played. He played 9 seasons in NFL and was probably the most freakish athlete in the 9 years that he was in the league. He was the man at wide receiver as a weapon. You don't see 6'5", 240-pound men run 4.3s and jump through the roof like a kangaroo on steroids. You don't see that. You know what I mean? And we witnessed it for 9 years. We did. Most dominating human being I've ever seen on the football field. One of the most dominating. Now, there's guys that can give him a little bit of a run for his money, but I don't think, as a freakish athlete, I don't think there's anybody better than Calvin. He might not be top 5 wide receivers of all time. He's close. I'd put him around 6 or 7. He'd almost go in the top 5 for me. I just think he'd just be outside of it. But as an athlete or as a freak of nature, I've never seen anybody like it, and nobody has. We'll never. We might see that again. 6'5", 240-pound man that could run like he ran. People want to say that Kyle Pitts is the next Calvin. No, he's not. He doesn't run nowhere near as fast. I don't think he's as athletic. Personally, I don't. But then again, who knows? It could happen. But I'm just glad that this story is done with. I think it was the most silliest story in the NFL. And it made Lions organization look stupid. It made them look dumb. And they didn't really need any help there to look dumb, but they did. And then it made Kelvin, I think, look extremely petty for $1 million. Sulking. I'm never coming back over $1 million. All right. They gave you over $114 million, bro. And then whatever else they gave you. It's just not about money, man. You have every kind of perk in the planet when you become an NFL football player. And everybody in the world knows who you are if you're Calvin Johnson. And I know you made yourself. It's you who made yourself. But the Lions drafted you. And the Lions gave you all that money. I just think it was on both sides. It was very, very ridiculous. And I'm so glad this is over. I'm glad that he's back in the building. Finally back in the building. The regime, they made promise again. This is another thing that this new regime is making good on. They have made some promises and they are keeping them. They said, one of the first things I remember, we're getting Kelvin back in the building. Rod Wood said it, or whoever said it. Sheila Ford said it. Yeah, we're working on it. We're working on getting him back in the building. Boom, he's back in the building. They're going to give him his money back. Hopefully they give it to him in a briefcase, because there's all kinds of talks about how they're going to. Now I don't know how this works. Now this is another thing. Now I don't know how this works. Okay, they're going to give him the $1 million back. I don't think it's a signing bonus. So I don't think it'll count against the cap. I'm not 100% sure on that. I think it's a good question because somebody did ask that. I seen on social media, and I don't think there was an answer given. But if it's a signing bonus, I don't think that goes against the cap. So it's only $1 million if it is anyway. So even if it does, I'm not worried about it. But if anybody's got that answer in the chat there, when I post this video, let a brother know, because I don't really know. It's not really that concerning of an issue, but it is something that did get brought up. But I'm glad it's over. I think it was one of the silliest situations that ever happened with the Lions, over squabbling over $1 million, and this other regime before us just couldn't handle it. You know what I mean? They're just, with this ownership and Bob Quinn, and they're just fools. They just should have got it done. You know what I mean? And I'm glad this new regime did. I'm glad Sheila Ford stepped up, because I guarantee you she's made the call on this. Guarantee she made the call, and good on you, Sheila Ford. You got it over with, man. There's no more bad blood. You know what I mean? Even though how stupid this situation was. But that's it, guys. Thanks for the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe at the bottom right. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, get all my videos, and don't forget to like and comment with positive, negative feedback coming at you guys. Let's go. Go Lions. Boom. We ain't done yet.